At 50 years old, I ruined my life. I blew it up. I don't mean a small thing. I don't mean having a house foreclosed on. I don't mean losing a car. I don't mean like that. I mean, I spent 10 years in a federal prison because I committed a crime, money crime, stole money. Guilty. Didn't make it any easier spending 10 years, which started out in a prison out in the Mexican border down by El Paso, where most of us Mexican gang members whom I didn't relate to and a bunch of other people of all races I didn't relate to, in a place with cockroaches and sand out in the hot desert. But it all starts from the extremes, and you have to come back from this. But think of the extremes. One day I'm wearing a suit, jacket, and coat, and right after that, I'm standing buck naked on a conveyor belt type system where people ogle you and make sure you aren't bringing in a tank or a bazooka in some orifice on your body. It was a shocker. And you go from that to living in a sand covered dorm with a bunch of guys you don't know, can't relate to, can't talk to, and your life is over. It's over. Completely over. You know that when you're there. You don't think so? That's exactly what you think. But while you're there, if you're going to survive, you got to make a decision. And I made a decision. My decision was I had to become someone that I'd never been before. And that's the only way you can survive in prison. Because you've gone in a situation where you've taken your life and you've completely blown it up like throwing a hand grenade into your jock strap. And so everything is gone. And you're in a world you've never experienced before, nor have you ever intended to experience. So now you have to reinvent yourself. That's the beginning of the story. My time there, I started out at a place on the Mexican border, and where I was dealing with, I said there were Mexicans, there's white gang members, black gang members. You become part of the group or you don't make it. Later, I was sent to a camp, care facility, where I was sent to work as a clerk with people like the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, and people like that, stories we could talk about later. But this is not about that. This is about coming back from that hell. And it was hell for a number of ways. The biggest part of prison was you're away from your family and everything that you recognize. Everything. Everything you do changes. Everyone you see changes. But the world outside keeps going. The hardest part was coming back. You come back from prison, and where do you go? A lot of people don't go back to the area they came from. Some do. I did. That was the hard part. I don't think people really know because I was in prison a person that I changed to. I was not a friendly person anymore. I was not a person while I was in prison you'd want to have to your house on Sunday afternoon to meet your Aunt Ruth and Uncle Ralph. You wouldn't want me around at all unless you're some psychiatrist, psychologist who was studying bizarre human behavior. I had to change from that back to a human being, what inmates call out in the world. And when I came back, the hardest part was I realized everything had changed. The people changed. They all looked old. The town had changed. Buildings were gone. New buildings were up. Businesses that I remember were just no longer there. But the hard thing was really is like people didn't know how to talk to me. And I didn't know how to talk to them. I didn't hear anybody out here say things like shot collar or CO or shake down or pat down. And nobody had any idea what a Mo was. We can talk about that again sometime. But those are things where it was a culture shock. You ever think about this when someone you know dies when you're young? And I'm sure you knew someone in your 20s or 30s when you were younger, they die. They are forever that 20 or 30-year-old person. Well, when you're in prison, it's kind of a living death where you remember those people the way they looked when you left. And if you get to be our age, and I'm assuming you're pretty close by our age, I'm 68. When I got home and I was 60 years old and had to start over, these people had aged 10 years. I'd aged 10 years too, but you don't notice your own age as you do these other people. It was a strange time. When you come back, you start over from scratch. I'm telling you. You have no bank account. You have no credit card. You have no car. Got to get a place to live. Got to find a job. It's like getting out of high school, but without graduation. When you leave prison, it's like this here that goes, there's your ticket. There's your bus. Where you go. At least they got you back to where you started at. Getting a job. Let me tell you, an experience you will never forget when you go through it. No one really wants you. There's all these programs they talk about prison to help you start over again. That's all bullshit, okay? The inmates put on the programs, and most of those programs are not going to help you get a job. The first job I got after a long time, I got at a pizza place, a Pizza Hut, because an old high school girlfriend of mine that I met by accident got me the job. Now, but she didn't become girlfriend again. She just found me this job at a pizza place. She knew the guy there. He was a nice guy. Said, "Come on in." Gave me a job, $8 an hour, and all the old crust that they couldn't sell, and the pizza that nobody wanted. So I got some free food out of it. Started there, ended up going to a grocery store for a while and working there, and then to a hospital. But let's talk about something here. The Can you come back from all this? Yeah. Is it easy? No. I want to tell you some things that make it extremely difficult when you're gone. You have to reattach yourself to your family that hasn't seen you. Some come to visit you, but a lot of them haven't seen you for a long time. You go down and you see someone on the street and say, "Hey, God," they talk to you, and they don't know how to talk to you at first, but then and some people are okay. And you'll say to them, "Hey, how's your brother doing?" And you feel like an idiot. "Oh, he died 4 years ago." Things have gone past, and you're starting so not just from ground zero, but your brain has to restart and recalibrate, and you have to understand all the things you knew are gone. So, you can't get a bank account. Mine was a money crime. Ain't no bank in the world wanted me. Ain't no credit union wanted me. I needed to get a car. I had zero credit. But I went around, checked different places here and there, and I walked into a small credit union not far from here and talked to the people there. And the lady says, "You know what? Let's take a chance in this." And they gave me credit for a car loan. I will be forever at that credit union. Other places now that I've been out a while and I'm making it and I've had jobs, they send me stuff. "Come to us. We'll pay higher interest on your savings," if I had any. "We'll get you a car loan if you need one now." No, you didn't need me back then. I don't need you now. I'm staying with the people that came. They've been very good to me. And the fact that they welcomed me, they were a little, but they welcomed me. So once I got my credit, got my car, got my job, you find a little place to live. I lived in a place, it kind of looked like the downstairs of the Addams Family house, or maybe the Munsters, one of those two. And it was quite the ordeal. And I got myself a cat for a pet, and I started hanging out. And then I went around and spent the rest of my time for a long time rebuilding the trust that had been totally taken away by what I'd done, stealing money, and by going to prison. And that in itself is a hard thing for people to understand. Are you still the same thing? People would say really weird things to me. I had a guy say to me, he said, "Wow, you went to prison. I'll bet you could kill someone with a spoon now." No. I mean, did you want me to? Another guy say, "Well, you're in there. Did you find Jesus?" I said, "I didn't know he was there." Yeah, I'm not a religious person. Prison did not make me any more religious. We can discuss that another time. It makes you self-sufficient. And when I came out, I understood that part helped me out here as I was around talking to friends, relatives that didn't know what the hell to say to me. Once the pieces start coming back together, it's a slow process. Now, I'm 68 years old. When came home, I was 61. It's been 7 years. Now I am remarried. My wife I'm married to now is 24 years younger than I am. She's a professional woman. She works in school administration. Did she think I was an interesting old guy to marry? Did she think that guy's pretty good looking? Or did she just have pity on me? I don't think it was pity. Yeah, maybe I better ask her about that. But the fact is, you can recover. Am I in full recovery mode now? I am in full recovery mode. I am not fully recovered. Those are two different things. Okay? Things I have discovered when you come out or when you start over is this. You are an underdog. I'm an underdog. This channel is about underdogs. The underdogs have to understand something. You must control the day. Do not let the day control you. When I got out of prison, or when you get out of circumstances you're in, or you're in the middle of the circumstances you're in, every day is one step closer to that graveyard. Don't let that day be wasted. Don't let that day and the clouds or someone's opinion of you or someone's thoughts that they want you to do poorly, or someone talking behind your back, or people in Washington being idiots, or the news being depressing. Don't let those things be your day. You need to control the day. When you start your day, that's when you start to control it. Am I preaching to you about this? I'm telling you what worked for me, and the only thing that got me through 10 years in the joint and got me through the 6.5 or 7 years now that I've been out since. The only thing. I had to control that time period when I got started in the morning and throughout the day. And do I fall down sometimes? Flat on my ass sometimes. And I get mad and I get angry, but I have to recalibrate. That's the only way I can do it. And I've made it this far. I'm certainly hope your circumstances were not as dire as mine. Maybe you've gone through a divorce, not making light of it. You got to start over again. Control the day. The ex-spouse cannot control your day unless you let her or let him. These people who talk behind your back can't control your day unless you let them. The people in Washington, the politicians, the news people, the people you see in these phones everybody's got now, cannot control your day unless you let them. And that's the one thing that I can't get across to people enough. And I'm very emphatic when I say it, because when I was first in prison, I contemplated taking myself out one way or the other. When you go there, it's the most depressing thing you can deal with. But controlling the day saved me through times that I didn't think I was going to make it. I really didn't. But I did. And it wasn't a discovery that I made that no one's ever thought of before. It's a discovery, a self-discovery that I made that lots of people have done. But lots of people, and maybe more people, haven't. And they suffer through things they really don't have to. So now I'm back. Connected, yes. My family, who never really abandoned me, I was very fortunate there. I've reconnected with them, with the grandchildren. I met this wonderful woman I'm married to. I have a dog and 2 cats. I live in a small home in Iowa. Are those successes? I don't know. You tell me. Success is what someone else thinks of you. Satisfaction is what you get from yourself. I'm satisfied, but not totally. I want more things. I want to do more things. I want to make a little more money. I walked out of my job at the hospital. I've talked about in other videos because I wasn't satisfied with that. And the reality is, if you're not satisfied in something and you're not satisfied in your stage in life, what the hell are you doing staying there? And that's a whole nother video, another chapter. I've talked about that in other videos. The reason I did this video today is I want people to know why am I qualified to tell anybody about anything. Maybe I'm not. I'm self-qualified to myself. I tell myself these things. And what I'm telling you are things that I've done personally. And every day I got to work on this. It's like people who go to like AA and these different organizations. Every day they work on that. It's something they need to do. I do this every day. Doesn't take a long time. When I feel the mood clicking the wrong way, I pull it back. Take a breath. Take a walk. Look outside. Look at the sky. See a bird. I used to look at birds in prison all the time. I'd see them out in the yard, and two things I would think. The first one would be, that's a sign of freedom. That's a beautiful bird. I love birds. I still love birds. And the second thing I would think is, what the hell's a bird doing here in the prison if it's got all this freedom? Why would you land here? Yeah, maybe birds ain't that smart. Maybe they don't care. But they weren't stuck there like I was. Instead of miring yourself first thing in the day, if you pick up one of these first thing in the morning and you start scrolling through it, the negativity is going to hit you. Don't let that happen. If you want to look at it, what you do is find pictures of your grandchildren. Find something that's happy. Maybe just look at the weather. I look at a fishing report, I like to fish. Do something on the positive side. Don't go to Apple News and say, well, let's see, there's got to be something good there because it ain't going to be there. Don't let it control you. Remember, we're underdogs. If you're watching this, you probably are too. Nothing wrong with being an underdog. We win, and we will. You need to control your day if you're an underdog. You can control your day, and you will control your day, and you can do it now. We'll see you soon.